The first is that, is this an audit that's being done as part of an engagement? Was I hired to do this audit? And if I was hired to do this audit, then obviously there's a confidentiality agreement and there's an obligation towards the client. And so I just disclose it as part of the audit, and the client does whatever they want. They patch it, they don't patch it. That's unfortunately, I would rather that they patch it on day one. Sometimes it goes unpatched, but it's not my call, because I was hired in order to deliver a service under an agreement, right? In cases where I go out of my way to find my own vulnerabilities because I want to, what I always do every single time is that I only disclose the vulnerability with a tested fix that I implemented. So, but I do the disclosure publicly. So I do not do responsible disclosure, because I'll explain why in a moment, but it doesn't mean that I do irresponsible disclosure either. What I do is I disclose the bug openly, publicly on the GitHub of the project as a pull request, including the fix. And that means that they don't have to spend time developing a fix. There's no time delay between the fix being presented, or between the issue being presented and the fix being ready. You can't claim that like, oh, we didn't have time to make a fix. This is irresponsible because there's no fix, because there is a fix. It's tested. It works with your code base, and you can merge it on day one. It passes all your internal tests, and it's developed according to the methodology and the code best practices that your repository implements that you decided are best for your project. And so why do I do that? Why do I do it that way? The fact that I'm doing pro bono security work already means that I am giving you my time for free. And if I'm giving you my time for free, doing things in a responsible disclosure way means that I now basically have to give you an indeterminate additional amount of my time for free until you decide to do what's best for your software and your community and fix the bug. And I think that's completely unreasonable, right? So another thing that would be completely unreasonable is for me to disclose the bug without a fix, right? That's also unreasonable, because then I am basically just putting it out there. Anyone can exploit it, and there's no way for you to fix it on time. And yes, that would actually be dangerous. So that's unreasonable. But also just like contacting you privately and like having, in many cases, to beg you for months to fix a bug that's being exploited. And even when you fix it quietly so that your, partners and investors don't notice, and you do it in a dishonest way, and the fix doesn't get pushed downstream for a year, right? So I've seen that happen, and that's not okay. And I'm not going to put myself in such a position where I'm being abused essentially by an irresponsible vendor. So the way that I do bugs that I find in my own time is that I always disclose them with a tested, high quality fix, but I do the disclosure publicly, because the message that I'm sending is the fix is right there. You're not going to need to waste time developing your own fix. This is a bug that you can fix today, but you're going to have to fix it today. We're not playing games. And I'm not giving you, the upper hand to treat this in an irresponsible way. I think that my methodology forces the vendor to act responsibly and doesn't give them the ability to abuse the disclosure process in order to play political games or delaying tactics.